You wake up, and before you even think about it, your hand reaches for something. Maybe it's the coffee pot. Maybe it's a piece of toast, or that orange juice you've poured every morning for the last 20 years. It feels automatic, harmless, even comforting. The same quiet ritual you've had for decades. But here's something most people never stop to consider. Your stomach at 6 or 7 in the morning is not the same organ it is at noon. Overnight, while you slept, your digestive system shifted into a kind of low-power resting mode. Your stomach lining is more sensitive. Your digestive juices are different. And the very first thing you put into that stomach can either ease it gently back into gear or force it to work overtime before it's ready. This isn't going to be another video telling you to drink lemon water and call it detoxing. You won't hear vague wellness talk here. What you're about to learn is based on how digestion actually changes with age and why certain ordinary breakfast foods you may be eating right now without a second thought, can quietly work against you after 60. By the end of this video, you won't just have a list of foods to avoid. You'll understand exactly why your stomach reacts to them differently now than it did when you were 40 or even 50. And once you understand the why, you won't need to rely on willpower to change your morning. The choice will simply start to make sense on its own. So let's start with what's really happening inside your stomach in those first waking minutes, because it explains almost everything that follows. Let's talk about what your stomach is actually doing first thing in the morning, because it explains why timing matters as much as the food itself. While you sleep, your body follows something researchers call the migrating motor complex, a fancy name for the housekeeping wave that sweeps through your digestive tract overnight, clearing out leftover debris from the day before. Think of it like a kitchen crew doing a final cleanup after closing, resetting everything for the next morning's rush. By the time you wake up, that crew has just finished, and your stomach is asking for something gentle to start the day, not a flood of acid, sugar, or hard-to-break-down food all at once. Here's where it gets more specific to getting older. Research from institutions studying gastrointestinal aging, including work published through the National Institute on Aging, has shown that stomach acid production and the speed of digestion both tend to slow down as we age. That means food sits in your stomach a little longer than it used to. It's a bit like a garden hose after decades of use. It still works, but the water pressure just isn't what it once was. Ask it to move something heavy or acidic too quickly, and it struggles. Now, here's the myth worth busting. Many people believe that citrus juice, like orange juice, is a healthy wake-up because it's natural and full of vitamin C. But on an empty, slower-moving stomach after 60, that acidity can irritate a stomach lining that's already more sensitive than it used to be, especially if you take any morning medications that also affect your stomach. It's not that orange juice is bad. It's that timing matters more now than it did before. So the food isn't the whole story. It's food plus timing, landing on a stomach that behaves differently than it did decades ago. And that's just the first layer. There's a second piece of this puzzle, tied to something even more important: how well your body absorbs your morning medication. Here's the second piece of this puzzle, and it's one most people never connect to breakfast at all: medication absorption. If you take a morning pill for blood pressure, thyroid, cholesterol, or anything else, it needs a certain stomach environment to absorb properly. Research on aging and pharmacology, including studies referenced by the American Geriatric Society, has pointed out that slower digestion and changes in stomach acidity can affect how well some medications are absorbed on an empty versus a full stomach, and how quickly they take effect. Pair a slower stomach with the wrong food at the wrong moment, and your medication may not be working quite as efficiently as your doctor intended. Think of it like mailing a letter. The letter itself hasn't changed, but if the mailbox is already full of other things, it takes longer to get picked up and delivered. There's also a second contributing factor: blood sugar. A fast-digesting, high-sugar breakfast, sugary cereal, pastries, sweetened coffee drinks, causes a quick spike, and because digestion is slower now, that spike can lead to more noticeable dips in energy an hour or two later. That's often the real reason behind the morning slump. So many people over 60 describe. It's not laziness, and it's not just getting older. It's simple chemistry playing out in a stomach that processes things at a different pace than it used to. Now, here's why this actually matters for your day, not just your digestion. When your stomach starts the morning calm and steady, instead of irritated or overloaded, your energy tends to stay more even through the late morning. Your medication has a better chance to do its job the way it's meant to. And many people notice less bloating, less of that heavy, sluggish feeling that can make you want to sit back down instead of getting up and moving. This isn't about fear. It's about giving your body the best possible start, so the rest of your day, your errands, your walk, your time with grandkids, feels a little lighter and easier. And the good news is, the fix for all of this is far simpler than you'd expect. Now let's talk about exactly what this means for your plate tomorrow morning. First, give your stomach a gentle start instead of an acidic one. If you love citrus, that's fine. Just have it after a few bites of something else, not on a completely empty stomach, especially if you take morning medication. Second, swap the fast-digesting, high-sugar options for something slower and steadier: plain oatmeal, a boiled egg, or whole grain toast with a little peanut butter. These give your stomach something it can work with gradually, instead of all at once. Third, if you take morning medication, try to keep a consistent routine around it. Some food, taken around the same time each day, rather than sometimes empty, sometimes full, sometimes rushed. Consistency helps your body know what to expect. And if you're ever unsure whether a specific food affects your particular medication, it's always worth a quick check with your doctor or pharmacist. They can look at your exact prescriptions and give you a clear answer. Fourth, slow down the meal itself. Even 5 extra minutes of unhurried eating gives that overnight cleanup crew a proper handoff to your digestive system, instead of a rushed one. None of this requires special ingredients, expensive supplements, or a complicated new routine. It's the same breakfast table you already have, just a few small shifts in what goes on it, and when. So tomorrow morning, when your hand reaches for that coffee pot or that piece of toast, pause for just a moment. Picture what's actually happening in there: a stomach that's slower, more sensitive, and asking for a gentler start than it used to need. That small pause is really the whole idea behind everything we just covered. Understanding why your body wants something different now, so the change feels natural instead of forced. Give your stomach that gentler start tomorrow, and notice how the rest of your morning feels. And if this kind of why behind the habit explanation is useful to you, stick around. There's a lot more of your daily routine that makes a lot more sense once you understand what's really going on underneath it.